Hi, in this video I'd like to show you how to get the most out of this simple little blues scale that was the first thing you ever learned when you wanted to play blues. If you're like a lot of people, you feel like you're just wandering up and down the scale. Up and coming back down. And yet you hear the great old-time blues players, and they always sound great using the exact same notes of the scale. So let's give you some ideas to make your little licks sound better. The first tip is to start your phrasing on the and of the beat. Makes things swing a little bit more. So 1, 2, 3. You also end up ending on the and of the beat when you do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and. The second tip is to skip over a note in the scale and then come back to it. I actually did that in the lick I just played. I went, skipped up to this note and came back to the note that I had skipped over. Had I not done that, it would have sounded like this. So I would just be going up the scale and coming back down the scale. So skip over a note, come back to it. Our third tip will be to begin your phrasing with a slide. Sounds kind of cool. When you do that, you usually are using your third finger. Start on the furthest note back in the scale and then slide up to the next note in the scale. Likewise, you could use a hammer-on, which is to hold one finger down, add your next note without hitting the string again. Another thing you hear a lot in blues phrasing is triplets. It's easy to do when you do your hammer-on. Do a hammer-on, hit the next note in sequence there, and you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I find a lot of people, they tend to always start low and go high. I've been doing that so far. So to create a fresher sound, start high and work your way low. Just then I added a technique that B.B. King made famous, which is what he called a flam. So you try to deaden the strings heading down to the string you're targeting, which is this note. But instead of letting the strings ring, you just kill them. Going hand in hand with working the idea of starting high and going low, you can do a pull-off, which means you have to have two fingers lined up and not just pulling your finger off, but push in and flick it out of there. You'll get a better sound. Once I've got a few ideas working, I like to work it against a rhythmic groove, such as just playing a simple G7 chord. Another nice idea is to develop sequences within the scale. Here's an example. Then I'll just move up and the next note on the next string and do the same idea. One last little tip I'd like to share with you is that you're playing in the key of G and using this G pentatonic blues scale. Only 5 different notes. Within it, you also have the roots of the two other most common chords, the C and the D. So if you're jamming along, you hear those other chords come in, just sort of form your phrases based around those notes. The D note, back to the G. Ideas for this video lesson came out of the early pages of my book 600 Smokin' Blues Guitar Licks. Now, I do demonstrate everything on electric guitar here, but as you can hear, many of the ideas work on acoustic guitar. So we hope you have some new ideas and go out there and enjoy playing your blues.